Hi, and thank you so much for watching the forum. I'm your host, Ashley Tate, here with my co-host, Christy Largent. And today we're talking all about writing and literacy. And we have Anna Tracy, which is the Shasta Library director. So this is really interesting because I think you have a lot of, she has a lot of big things to talk about today, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
Let's start right off with, how did you connect with the library?
Well, actually, that's a fun story. So when I was in high school, 16 years old, and our new Reading Library was just being built and opened, I got a job there as a volunteer. Oh. And I volunteered there for a couple of weeks, and they offered me a job. Oh. And then I got a promotion, and I actually worked there until I left for college. And then all throughout college, I worked at the university library. And about 5 years ago now, I found myself back in Reading and back at the library and just kind of moved my way up that chain.
So what was your affinity with the library? I mean, you've done it all through. You kind of just knew I like libraries and this is kind of my jam. So how did you get into that?
Yeah, so it started really, I ended up there by chance. It was just, one of my best friends, her mom was a librarian, and she's like, oh, you can volunteer at the library. Okay. And I just really enjoyed the work. Okay. I think it's a really unique position in that you get to impact people's lives on a daily basis and really see that impact. So it's kind of an addicting feeling to be able to have that richness in your job every day. Yeah. So even I took a brief stint in wineries, and I was managing those for a while.
That goes well with books.
Yeah, wine and reading, I love it. But so it really just, I missed it, and it brought me back because the work is really fulfilling and really enriching, and you get to make an impact on your community, and I think that is something really
I really like that perspective. Yeah. I do. I love, usually, people are like, I'm a librarian, and they just leave it at that, but
I'm a loud librarian.
I love that. Then I'll come there when you're there.
Of course we love that. Yeah. Of course we love that. I do want to kind of talk about the elephant in the room right off the bat, because I am, and I've shared with you, I'm an avid library user. Our family's there 2 to 3 times a week. The changes in the library in the last 5 years have been really dramatic as far as it feels. I'm here. This is what I hear. It feels more like a homeless daycare. And so I am like, no, they don't ever bother you. You can go right in. It's no problem. But I would like you to address, what are you guys doing to deal with the fact that we have a heavy homeless population that uses the library's resources?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to. So in general, I think that we've done a lot of changes over the years just to improve lines of sight. We have on-site security that are there all the hours that we're open. And we also are doing things such as rearranging furniture on the floors to make sure that from any desk location, we actually have just real clear lines of sight. I will say that it's just a problem that our county's facing in general. And so it's really no different than if you're going to Walmart or if you're going to Safeway or if you're going to any of these places in town. It's just something that as a community, we have to deal with. But I will say we have a lot of programs available and resources available to those people. So they're coming to the library not only to just enjoy the air conditioning during the summer, but also to really tap into those resources. We offer veteran services. We plug them right in, and our partner's main goal is to get them into housing. So realistically, I think that while we can provide security measures and especially for families, alternative entrances, they can come in through the garden for our programs and things like that.
Go back. There's a different entrance than just the front entrance?
Only for children and their families. And we only open that up for programming because we do have a large garden at the Reading Library, which I will say right now, we are turning into an outdoor explorer nature garden.
Yeah, it's never really been used. The garden right off the children's.
Yes.
I mean, I remember when we opened it, the grand opening, and it was so beautiful, but then we never ever have used it. So
we lost our shade, and so now we're really working on, we actually have written several grants. We already have the planning design concepts completed, and we just actually received a grant from the McConnell Foundation for $30,000 to start the project.
Wow.
So we're very, very excited for that. But that's another option too. We do open that up when we're doing programs so that children and families are welcome to come in. Instead of through the front entrance, they can come in through the garden.
Okay, so when you look at the library, that's over to your right, just for people to know to get in. And I'm sure you'll have signage when that
we opens. Put a sign out when it's open.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I do like your perspective. Honestly, your perspective is very refreshing, because I think that you're morphing the library into what the community actually needs, and you're filling the resources and the gaps. I love your answer to the question about the homeless and things like that. Hey, we have resources here. We're trying to do our part for the community as well. And I think that's the most you can ask. Now, coming from a parent's perspective, right? If you're saying that you want children to go in through the other side. I actually, to be honest, I've taken my kids to the library. I use that as a teaching moment. And we just talk about what what the situation is, keeping your head on a swivel, knowing what doesn't feel right, what doesn't look right to you. Because you're right, this is like every other place in any community, anywhere. And the library is not off limits to anyone. That's what makes it, to me,
that's the basis of a public library, is free and equal access to information for people of all walks of life, of all, really everything. So, and I will say too that the police department, the RPD, has just been absolutely wonderful and reinforcing everything with us and really partnering with us to try to come up with creative problem solving. So it's been really seeing an upswing in terms of perception and reality.
So what kind of programs, you mentioned your programs, why don't you share with our viewers the programs that you are excited about and that are coming in the future here?
That's easy. I'm excited about all of our programs. So we have summer reading, which runs through May through the end of July, and we do all kinds of programs. We offer weekly programs for people of all ages, but it's also mainly a reading incentive program. And what we're doing is really trying to encourage youth to continue reading through the summer so they don't fall behind as they're entering back into school.
Yeah.
And our big push is that, we want kids to love reading. We don't care how we get there. We want to try anything we can to make sure that we're reaching as many people as possible. So we do that through our summer reading program, and we incentivize. So there's prizes, books, all kinds of good stuff. And that's In-N-Out
hamburgers. Yes. My kids get that every summer. Oh, yeah. So you read 10 books and you get a ticket for a free In-N-Out hamburger.
And In-N-Out sponsors that entire program, and it's in the spring, and they run it like right at the end of the school year. It's absolutely wonderful.
And my kids love it. I mean, they love I found that with children, the more you can put a little carrot at the end of the task, they seem to respond. And reading is no different.
Right.
They love getting rewards along the way.
So how does it work? We've never done the summer reading program. So how can you explain how you would start and
absolutely
11-year-olds? So what does that look like for them?
So this year we changed it up a little bit, and we're offering completely online signups. So if people are going on vacation, if they're not around, they can actually sign up online and then bring their logs in when they're back in town. So that way they can kind of kickstart. Another couple changes we made is that when a child finishes an entire log, they can do it again and again and again and again. And there's no
run out of. We used to be capped, which was bad because my kids are real readers. Yeah. So, we're all readers. Yeah. But the capping was not good. So I'm so happy you're not doing that.
Some people were finishing the first month, and we were like, we want them reading all summer. Right. So we've taken that cap away, and they can continue to read. And the ongoing prize is a book to build their home library. And we have a big Scholastic book fair cabinet where they get to pick. It's a lot of fun.
So talking about online. Yes. Tell us about this digital streaming. What is that? Sure. What is that?
Absolutely. So we offer an online collection as well as a physical book collection at our libraries. And I should just mention that it's Reading, Anderson, and Bernie are the Shasta Public Libraries. So, and anything that's available at Bernie or Anderson is welcome to be placed on hold, and it can be brought to Reading or vice versa. So it's a shared catalog. It's a shared collection. And for digital streaming, we have a huge collection of ebooks and audiobooks that you can download straight to your devices. You can do it on your computer, you can do it on your smartphone, anything like that. And it's free. It doesn't cost anything.
And does it go away after a certain amount of
So that's the great thing. You don't get late fees. So it just falls off your account, and then if you want to check it out again,
it's good for us. We use that too.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we use all of us use that.
Yeah. And we actually this next year we're going to be putting in additional $10,000 towards our Overdrive, which is our online collection of ebooks. So we're really going to be working
collection,
building that.
And the other really neat thing you do, which I don't know many people know about, is if there's a book that's been out more than 6 months and the library doesn't have it, you can go up to the resource desk on the second floor and you can make a request for that book, and they will order it from Amazon for you, and it gets shipped straight to your home. And then when you finish reading it, you bring it in.
Yeah, and that program's called Zip Books. It's absolutely awesome. Yeah. It's a grant-funded program, and the idea is that since we don't offer a traditional interlibrary loan service anymore, it's just become so costly and expensive. The California State Library kind of came up with this program to allow us an alternative. So if it's something that we don't have, that we can't order, there are some stipulations, as Christy said, but it is really wonderful, and it's so convenient because there's no due date, there's no nothing. You get the book, you read it, and you return it when you're done.
Wow.
And at that
it's
point,
a really neat deal.
We're able to add it to the collection,
right.
So then we can boost our collection.
And can you talk a little bit about the Friends, speaking of adding to the collection and funding, Can you talk a little bit about the Friends of the Library?
Sure.
Really, really active group, and I know a lot of our viewers are actually friends of the library.
Sure, and we are a very lucky system. We have 4 support groups. We have 3 friends groups, and we have the Shasta Library Foundation. Now, our friends groups operate as kind of immediate need funding. So they are really fundraising through book donations, book sales, used book sales, things like that, to actively fund our immediate needs, including programming and things like that. So the Friends of the Shasta County Libraries actually that group funds all 3 of our branches. They are hosted primarily in Reading and comprised primarily of Reading people, but that money and the funds that they raise go to servicing the entire system.
And the bookstore is in the back. When you walk straight in past the counter and go back to the left, there's the little Friends of the Library store.
It's wonderful.
And it's wonderful. And there's tons of books there for really not very much money, but
like $1, 25 cents.
And like I have donated boxes and boxes of books to the Friends because I know that money is going straight to the library.
Well, and when those donations come in, library staff have first pick of those items. So at any point, if we want it for the collection, we'll add it to the collection.
Oh,
and then at that
good.
point, the materials get sorted and they either go to the book sale or to the bookstore.
And then they also sell some online.
They do,
right?
yes.
So they'll sell. They have
so much you've got going on. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, we
So
do.
and then the foundation. I know. So people can join the Friends. Oh my gosh, we're almost out of time. But join the Friends. The foundation also supports you. The Library Foundation. You want to.
Yeah, the Shasta Library Foundation does a lot of different fundraising events throughout the year. So really the best way is to go to any of our websites to find that information. And because we constantly keep them updated.
And if someone wanted to volunteer, what would they do?
They would go to our website and find Sarah Steipel's information. She is our volunteer coordinator. And we accept volunteers of all backgrounds, all nature. We're really interested. We do a lot of shelving. We have ones that help out with programming. We have a multitude of different needs that could really be filled.
Well, Anna, thank you so much. Give our viewers the website.
Yeah, so our website is www.shastalibraries.org.
Yeah, that's shastalibraries.org. Thank you so much for coming on. Oh, it's so good to talk about the library. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with the second half of our show.
Hi, and we are back with the North State Writers. And we have the president, Kathy Hyatt, and then we have vice president, Kathy Chase. Yes, we have 2 Kathys today, so you won't really know. You guys will have to be like, it's me. I'm excited to have you guys. We just had the Shasta Library Foundation on, not the foundation, sorry, just the Shasta Library. And, weaving in literacy and writing, I would love to know how you guys kind of got into starting your writing career. You're a writer too. I mean, we've got a lot of interest up here. So
What is your group, first of all?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
North State Writers is a chartered branch of the California Writers Club. The California Writers Club was first formed in 1909. Jack London was the main, it was his thing.
So I'm guessing it was founded in Oakland.
Yes,
if
it
Jack
was.
London
Yes,
founded
it
it.
was.
Wow.
And we're a chartered branch. We're one of 22 branches.
Okay.
And we're the only branch that's north of Sacramento all the way up to the Oregon border.
And when did you charter? You're in Chico, right?
Correct. 2015, so we're fairly new. So we're still building on the club and putting it together. We've got 57
members, which is really pretty good for bringing a new.
Wow, that's really good.
it is.
Yeah.
But now going back to that question, because I really want to know. I mean, I'm interested in the background, but I want to know what brought you guys to the North State Writers and how you even got into writing.
Well,
You
I'm a retired English teacher and I taught writing at the college.
that explains that.
So I've always written, but I didn't have time to write because I was busy correcting 200 stories every week.
Oh.
So when I retired, I just decided to write. Actually, started out as a memoir.
Oh.
And I started writing, but somehow it just kind of morphed. And this is something you'll find about writing: it takes on a life of its own. It morphed into a fiction adventure, kind of a sci-fi book.
Oh, wow.
And so it took me a year. I wrote it and I was all happy with it. And then I sat there and went, now what? I have this book and I don't know what to do with it.
Yes.
So I saw North State Writers in the paper and I went to their first meeting. And so I've been there 2 years now and I've published 6 short stories in magazines and my second book just came out. So
Wow.
They helped me. If it wasn't for them, I'd still be sitting there looking at this fabulous book that nobody's seen for me.
Yeah, well,
And that's
you were
the main, right?
Yeah,
Sorry, Christine.
no. I was just going to say that is what your story is very familiar because how many people do you meet? They go, I've got to write a book someday, and then they journal or they do whatever, but they don't know what to do with it.
Right.
So what you're saying is this community has you all lift each other up.
Right.
Well, that's our main focus is writers helping writers.
Right,
When we
networking.
help networking. We help them with the craft. We help them on things on how to write and how to tweak your writing. But we also do publishing, and we have people who do lithographs. We have illustrators. We have editors.
Wow.
And we have photographers. We have people who write poetry, fiction, nonfiction.
So really connecting all of the aspects of creating a final product is kind of what North State Writers actually does. Like you have the
Yes.
photographers, you have all the people, so
Yes.
you're making those connections.
Our membership includes those folks who, the young ones who are just starting to write, have maybe written half of a short story, all the way up to folks. We have Doug Keister is a pretty infamous photographer. He's got over 45 books published.
Wow.
3 of them are novels. The rest of them are coffee table books. They're beautiful. They're distributed worldwide.
Wow.
We have Commander David Braun, naval commander, retired, and he's published his 10th book. And it's basically, his writing is on naval ships. Okay.
Nonfiction.
Those are all in educational institutions across the country.
Talk about a niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but then we have children's books. We brought some here today.
Okay.
That folks have illustrated or had illustrated, have written. We've got one who it's Tina the ballerina. And she actually put that children's book together. She hired an illustrator. Her mother had written the story, when she was a little girl, and read it to her and her sisters, and then created it from there. She created little characters, she made little outfits. So the author,
fantastic.
Yeah, and she turned it into a children's book for her mother.
And the cool thing is, you said everything is also available on Amazon.
Yes, it
So
is.
yes, it's for her mother, but it's also can bless a lot of other people too.
Exactly.
Well, one
She's
of the
memorialized her.
Oh, that is a good way to do that. And for like a lot of people, like when you started out with a memoir and things, people start out that way, just doing that even for their lives. But my question is, if someone's interested and they're watching and they want to actually, come and go to one of your groups, are they allowed to just come and
Absolutely.
just shadow and kind
Absolutely.
of see what it's all about?
We meet the third Monday of every month
Okay.
at the Veterans Hall in Chico. Meetings are free and open to the public. We have
6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock. It's on our website as well. We have a speaker or a workshop at every meeting, and it's things, we cover things like, Kathy.
Well, we've done memoirs, we've done how to write humorous writing, how to do research for nonfiction. This month we're having how to write a children's book from beginning to end. And next month it's going to, in July, June, sorry, is going to be how to take characters to move your plot along. We've also had how to enhance your dialogue. So we try to, one month we'll have something on craft, next month we'll have something maybe on marketing, or we've also had how to do audiobooks, how to do your own audiobooks was one of the speakers.
Gosh, this is so practical. I'm just thinking about all the steps I went through when I did my book, and how you have all these questions, and you just to having somebody to call or email and say, what do you think about this? And you're all collaborating together, and you're really giving them practical. So tell us about your open mic night. I understand you have something.
That's through the library.
Okay.
It's our authors attend the open mic night, but it's not something we sponsor ourselves.
Okay.
What was I going to tell you though? I'm old, I have no memory.
Oh, stop. Oh my gosh.
We're enjoying trouble.
Well, what if someone is in Reading or anywhere else, Bernie, and they can't necessarily get to your meetings in Chico? Can they still sign up and become a member
Yes,
and email
absolutely.
and communicate?
Yes, you know, the plan down the line is to bring it live on our website. That's what we would really
Boy,
like
that
to
would
do.
be neat.
Because right now we're servicing most of Butte County. We have some folks that come from Sutter County, but we need to get it out to the rest of Northern California because Reading's a ways.
Yeah.
But membership entitles folks to not just the meetings, but they get discounts on workshops and conferences throughout the state through the California Writers Club.
Wow.
And
Big discounts.
Yeah, big discounts. They also, let's see, what else have we got?
Yeah, you guys have a workshop that you do every year,
Right.
and this year
Right.
you're kind of focusing on something I think a lot of people would be interested in. So can you expound on that a little bit?
Yeah, our workshop, every July we try to have a workshop. We had one last year since we're new. Last year was our first.
Right. Inaugural.
Yeah, exactly.
And this year, we're at July 15th, we are going to have a workshop on how to do self-publishing. So from beginning to end, from picking your cover to doing your title to how to download it, how to format it, everything like that.
And when you
tips.
say it's a workshop, is it a one-day event or?
Yes, it's going to be from 9:30 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon.
Wow.
For members, it's $65, but for non-members, it's $95.
Still, that's great.
And it's going to be at the Oxford Suites, so it's going to be a nice venue. And everybody is invited to come.
Yeah.
And if you go to our website, you can pre-register. We're asking for pre-registration so we know how many people will be there.
Of course.
And how much does it cost to become a member?
It's $45 and $20 the first year goes to CWC. That's a one-time charge. And then after that, it's $45 every semester. Or every semester, until I'm retired from the university. Every year.
Every year, annually. Okay.
Yes, annually.
Okay.
So even by signing up for this workshop, that's a $30 savings right there. So it's really worth it to be a member. This workshop also is being taught by one of our members, and she is an Amazon bestseller. In fact, we've got three authors now
Amazon
that are
bestsellers.
Amazon bestsellers.
Yeah.
And she'll be instructing it. She's an instructional aid for INLO. So she's excellent.
Good.
She's incredible.
Really practical. There is a strategy to becoming an Amazon bestseller.
Yes,
So-
there is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, so that's really neat. You know, that's one thing oftentimes in the work world is people see each other as competitors rather than collaborators.
Right.
You know, and I know as a speaker, our whole philosophy at National Speakers Association is we're not trying to take your piece of the pie. We're trying to make a bigger pie.
Right.
So there's more for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you guys are doing. It's such a powerful thing.
It's a lot of fun too. And
Oh yeah, we have a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
that's part of it. But I think we have more than 70% of our members come to the meeting.
How much?
More than 70%.
Oh, good heavens.
But that's because it's a shared passion.
It's a shared passion,
Yeah,
and we have a good time,
And
and
it's
everybody
fun.
gets along, and we learn something, and that's huge.
Fantastic.
I mean,
Yeah.
Now, something else North State Writers does. This is our second year. This year's we publish an anthology, and what this is, it's short stories written by members of the club, and there's 19 authors that have stories in this.
Oh, wow.
And so these are stories collected by your members.
Correct.
So you are technically a published author. I mean, when
Yeah.
you have a resume for writing, which is very important.
When you apply to a magazine or something.
Exactly.
Right?
They want to see a resume. So if you have published in our anthology or other anthologies from other organizations, those are all published.
Ah,
You know, they
very
count.
good. So we're almost out of time. I can't believe it. I told you this
Yeah,
would go
it does go fast.
How do people find out more about you? What's the website?
NorthStateWriters.com.
Oh, that's easy. NorthStateWriters.com. And your meetings again are?
Every third Monday at the Veterans Memorial Hall in Chico at 6 p.m.
Okay. So if you're desiring to get your story out or you have a story you want to share with others, this is the place
Yes,
to go.
it is. That's right. Yes, it is.
What a good show we've had today. We've got the library in the North State, and then you guys, the writers from down in Chico. Thank you so much for watching. We love having you here on the forum, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week.